Costumers Guild and the Sick Puffs of Monmouth County banded together to form this thing we now call the ICG. It is because of that tight relationship that we hold our annual meeting at CostumeCon, and we announce our major awards to the public this weekend. Tonight, it is my privilege to present the ICG President's Award. I do not have a plaque because, to be honest, this decision was made quite recently, and so I apologize to the recipient for that. Our art form is shockingly ephemeral, which is why the ICG archives are so important, but so too are the records of this event, of CostumeCon itself. I know because I had a hand myself in rebuilding the CostumeCon.org archives some many years ago. Those archives were recently threatened by the same software obsolescence that shut down the ICG archive site. Fortunately, thanks to the Herculean efforts of one person, the CostumeCon Visual Archive is now not just restored, but expanded and searchable for both images and historical data. For that work, as well as for her tireless efforts for the ICG and the costuming community in general, I am recognizing Betsy Marks. With the 2022 ICG President's Award. Besides her work on the archives, Betsy was part of the team who assisted Karen Schnabelt in updating the CostumeCon Constitution. She was an active member of the team that developed our new expanded ICG guidelines, and last year was incremental in writing the standard and rules amendments that brought some of our corporate practices in line with the law. So it is my privilege to recognize your hard work on behalf of CostumeCon, the International Costumers Guild, and the fan costume community in general, and I ask you all to join me in applauding her endeavors. I was afraid you were going to kill me.
I don't know what to say because this was completely out of the blue, and I am beyond grateful for the recognition. Thank you. Come visit costume-con.org and you'll see everything. If you have questions, I'll be in the exhibit room all weekend long setting up additional stuff, including all of the awards from this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Betsy.
Lights. Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Welcome to the CC38 single pattern contest. It was everybody was brokenhearted when CC38 had to cancel at the last moment. And we in the CC40 committee felt terrible that people had done so much work and didn't get to show it. So we decided we were going to host both the CC38 to let them have their day, and later on the CC40 event. So we will wrap up CC38 tonight. Whew. I would like to introduce my Master of Ceremonies. Dr. Karen was introduced to fandom at the Boscone from Hell, where 4,500 people showed up at a con that was expecting less than half of that. 2 years later, she was volunteering. Her home convention is Aresia, the large regional science fiction convention in the Northeast. She belongs to both the Northern Lights Costumers and the Greater Columbia Fantasy Costumers Guild. She's been running the Balticon Masquerade for the past couple years and was Masquerade Director for DisCon 3 last December in 2021. In mundane life, Dr. Karen has been a veterinarian since 1992 with licenses in multiple states, but currently settled in North Carolina. She currently lives with her husband, Dennis, 2 dogs, 2 cats, and a whole lot of books. And I bet a whole lot of fabric. Dr. Karen? Have at it.
All right. You guys can hear me okay? We all decided that some people are too quiet. I have never been accused of being too quiet. I am going to introduce our wonderful judges. We're going to start with Lisa Ashton. She's a longtime costumer with a variety of costume and costume-adjacent interests and explorations, from antique parasol restoration to quilting to beading and beyond. Her most recent projects were at CC37 in Danvers, an 1825 American fur trader, Mountain Man, and her Day of the Dead zombie in Midnight in Manhattan. She is also the founder of Miss Lizzie's traveling historical fashion show. I'd like to point out there are several objects from that show in our exhibits, and you should definitely take a close look at them. Thank you, Lisa. You already know our wonderful president of the ICG, Kevin Roche, is also one of our judges. He has been costuming since he was 8 and was chair of Worldcon 76 in San Jose. In his secret identity as a scientist at IBM Research Almaden, he's hard at work wrangling giant robotic vacuum chambers and electrons in atomically engineered materials, and is an IBM Q ambassador and Qiskit advocate, explaining the weird world of quantum computers to audiences around the world. Kevin and his husband Andy threw an olive tasting bid hoax party at WesterCon 64, which culminated in their running WesterCon 66 in Sacramento in 2013. In 2002, they set out to bring CostumCon back to California, and 900 costumers showed up at CC26 in 2008. Kevin also has the distinction of creating the CostumCon single pattern competition as part of Dimensions in Design and Expanded Future Fashion Show for CostumCon 12 in Santa Clara. Kevin also created ThinBot, the 4-time gold medalist in robotic bartending at RoboGames, and for Worldcon, he built the San Jose Galactic Light Tower, a 32-foot replica of the historic San Jose Electric Light Tower. It won gold for static art bots at the 2018 RoboGames. He is also the editor of Yipe, the costume fanzine of record. We also had a virtual judge for this contest who was online studying the costumes and talking to the costumers. Her name is Caro. She's from Canada. She started costuming conventions in 2003. She's mostly known for her out-of-ordinary costumes and presentations, and won some infamous awards like Best Bulge, or It's Not Because You Can That You Should. She likes to try new techniques and is always open to new weird projects. Her motto is, "In what did I get myself into again?" Caro was our single pattern director for CC38. Now, our first contestant is virtual. I believe Tech will be showing, there we go. This is The Modern Outlander by Mary Ellen Duff. Mary Ellen wove the kilt herself on a tabletop heddle loom. The kilt is a single piece of fabric measuring approximately 4.2 yards. The tartan is a 4-color design she created to represent the provincial colors of Quebec, the location of Costume Con 38. The fiber used is a heavy lace-weight baby alpaca. The over-the-head vest is lined with a side closure. Mary Ellen also hand-knit the kilt socks, which has cabling on both the inner and outer sides. Enjoy the swoosh. Made and worn by Mary Ellen Duff. And I agree. Wow. Our second contestant, 50 Shades of Green. One short day in the Emerald City. One short day in the Land of Oz. One short day in the patchwork of life. Behind the Emerald Curtain. Made and worn by Mary Peralski. This is the Tarothian military uniform. McCall 7736, as made and worn by Andrea Lewis. For a little different note, this is the bubble wrap gown using McCall 7271. After a fractured pelvis and a car accident left me with a fractured distal humerus and fifth metacarpal, my girlfriend said, "We need to wrap you in bubble wrap." Made and worn by Rebecca Rowan. Using the same pattern, we now see Red Dragon. Costume made and worn by Karen Simmons. Mask made by Dana Tate. The next costume has no title, but is using McCall's 7368. Inspired by the changing seasons, this outfit was modeled to look like the trees as they transition from summer to fall. All fabrics started as plain white. The colors were achieved with layers of dye and fabric painting. Made and worn by Kelly Blackler. Wie Gothmutter right Gewohnheit. The Fairy Gothmother riding habit, based on McCall 7271, she will whip you into shape. Made and worn by Nora Mai. My friends are crazy. Using McCall's pattern 7368, here you see a quilted crazy quilt jacket made using fabric and trims donated by members of CC37. The fabric pieces were hand sewn onto a muslin piece the size of the asymmetrical panel. The embroidery was selected by friends and coworkers. Cuffs and decorations on the back are also made of donated fabric and trim. The only purchased items are the gray of the jacket, the green of the pants, and the embroidery thread. Made and worn by Sharon Bass. Dragon Lord. Another version of McCall's 7736. Made by Pierre and Sandy Pettinger, worn by Pierre Pettinger. Fairy Godmother of the Sea. The fairy godmother of the sea watches over the water and the creatures living there. This dress has seashells in the peplums and a man of war on each hip. The collar is a scalloped shell shape. There are fish on her elbows. The wings are southern rays, known as angels of the sea. The headpiece includes a chocolate chip sea star, an octopus made from a purple wig in Model Magic, and the star wand is a sea star as well. Made and worn by Angel Avery Wright. Viva la Revolution! Pardon my lack of French. 45 years have passed since the Jacobite rebellion in Scotland, and we take our pattern to where change is brewing in France. Our revolutionary wears a red wool waistcoat and blue jacket, but he is sans culottes, instead opting for the full-length breeches of the working man. He sports a red wool Liberty cap, upon which he proudly displays a cockade, where the red and blue colors of Paris are paired with the white of the Ancien Regime. If the folds of his cockade look a little familiar, he picked up some pleating tricks from this Scotsman he met once. Jennifer d'Outremont. Fantôme historique. After a tragic accident, Madame returns as a historical apparition. Made and worn by Carrie Clifton. Reef. McCall 7368, made by Pierre and Sandy Pettinger, worn by Sandy Pettinger. Black Butterfly, the Elegance of Darkness. Using McCall 7271, Sandra Boussier is showing us exactly how to do it. Made and worn by La Corsaitre. Mother Gaia, a birth of spring. McCall 7368 as made and worn by Anastasia Hall. The Gown of Thrones. Using McCall 7271, winter is coming, and you will need more than a fluffy gown to face it. The bodice and pared down skirt are made of pieced gray fabrics, decorated with foam clay sigils, metal pieces, pearls, and faux Dyerworth wool. The side flounces have been replaced with steel and studs. The swords of the Iron Throne are echoed on the collar, inside the hanging sleeves, and the fairy wings are now, of course, dragon wings. In the winter, we must protect ourselves. Made and worn by Jacqueline Ward. Thank you, everyone. This concludes the single pattern contest, which was amazing. I believe we are now going to have an opportunity to take photos of the single pattern contest costumes while we await the judges, and we're going to present all the awards for both contests at the same time.
Lights up now if you'd like. I'm going to do something different. I don't know if it's been done before, but I want to get group shots by pattern. So this is our first set that it had made the, using McCall 7736, the Outlander pattern. Are the photo people in here? Good, there you go. Okay. And if Dorothy backstage can hear me, to send up those who did the 7368, that's the asymmetrical outfit. Yes, you're good, thank you. I find it very interesting how you can take one pattern and see all the different. Yes, let's get the asymmetrical. Seven, 3, 6, 8. Okay. Who's missing? Okay, we're missing Kelly Blackler. That's you. Oh, we're missing Sharon Bass. Is she backstage? See, there's a live feed backstage. That's why I'm asking. They can hear. Oh, well. Well, I guess she missed her photo call. Oh. And Dorothy, can you please get ready all of the fairy godmother bridal patterns? And here's the McCall 7271. There should be probably about 8 of you, I imagine. No, but the dresses are wide. And you want to turn around for the... Okay? Okay, thank you very much. And the judges for the Future Fashion Show will be out soon to do their awards. One thing, we're very lucky in managing to continue rewarding the CC38 people. Manu sent us the CC38 ribbons. So they will get their proper ribbons. And we had a remote judge. Did you know we had a judge in Canada? She was the director for the single pattern up there. So, okay, go for it, Karen. All right, Bruce and Bruce.
Oh, yeah, I need that, don't I? All right, so we don't need dork around with this. We'll just get right to it. Our first award is 40 points to Gryffindor. 1500s Gryffindor. I'm sorry, yes, and that's Carrie Clifton. Hopefully she's here somewhere. Unless she was in the single pattern show too. Let's give her a moment so she can have the glory. If not, then we'll move on and say, where were you?
They've got to come from all the way in the green room.
Yeah, it's a pretty much long walk anywhere in this building. That's actually one of the shorter walks we have, is going from this room to the green room. Do we know if she's coming?
They're checking.
Carrie! Ooh, let's spook her out, everybody together. Carrie! You'd think that would have worked. I guess we just didn't do it loud enough, but... Well, all right. While we're waiting for our contestant, you having fun so far? Good. Well, welcome to all our new people who are here for the first time for Costume Con. And is somebody waving? Somebody saying they're coming? I can't tell what they are. We got nothing. All right. We will move on. If she shows up, we'll back up. The next award goes to Angel Avery Wright, Cruella Beast, Beast in Class. What, if you 0 for 2 now?
Give him a minute.
Probably should have. Nope. Okay. I'm getting a signal. No, there's not something that's not happening yet. All right.
Give a call out to the green room. Green room, are you paying attention?
Yo, green room. I know you're watching backstage. Somebody find Carrie Clifton and Angel Avery Wright so they can get their well-deserved awards. Okay, here she is. Okay, do we have Angel yet? All right, she shows up, we'll start over again. The next award is Hardest Working Costume for Aurora Celeste, the Mechanic. And she's in the audience somewhere. Come up here and get your award. Is there a safe place for her to do this? Okay. Go that way. Oh. Once again, Aurora Celeste, hardest working costume. Okay, dare we do this one? Let's hope.
Everyone's paying attention.
Right, okay. Listen up back there in the green room. This is the one I'm going to announce. You ready? It's called Best in Show, Sandra Boussier. We're batting 1,000 tonight. Well, this is embarrassing. Okay, here comes Angel. She's slowly making her way. There she is. Doesn't have her shoes on. That's Beast in Class. Cruella Beast. Okay, here comes our last person. This is Sandra Boussier. Genie Fur. All right. That's everybody. Does somebody need to have some last words of wisdom? I don't think we've prepared for that. So the con suite should be open by now, I'm assuming?
Yep.
So that's where
But don't go anywhere until the single pattern awards have been given out.
That's true. We do still have some more pattern
So they're going to be
awards.
given out, and we will see everybody Sunday morning for the CC40 Future Fashion Show and Single Pattern.
We still have awards to give. Please stay in your seats. We can send more costumes out for pictures. Okay, please stay. We're like backstage going, no! I'll be right back.
Hello again. So, before we read off the awards, a few comments. First of all, our contestants did not make this easy for us. No. At all. But we're really not supposed to give everyone an award. So we did our best to do a good job on that. I especially want to thank my co-judge, Lisa, for writing the order I'm supposed to read these in big numbers so I can get them in the right order. And we want to thank our remote judge, Caro, who we weren't sure it was going to work, and it did really well.
It did work.
And Ron, without whom we couldn't have done this, because he was, among other things, holding the phone so Caro could see whatever she wanted to. So, before we get to the formal awards, there is one thing that I do have to say. I specifically want to call out the Pettingers for wearing their future fashion outerwear over their single pattern costumes. So if any of you wondered, for instance, why Pierre was not showing off his sleeves when he was wearing the shawl, it's because the sleeves were part of his single pattern contest entry. So without further ado, we are going to start with the McCall's 7736, that's the Outlander pattern. First of all, an award for historical adaptation to number 11, Viva la Révolution, because taking a Scottish-inspired design and turning it into a French Revolution was just...
Most of them in the green room. Okay.
And
Here she comes.
we also have something special. We actually have CostumeCon 38 rosettes to award for the CostumeCon 38 single pattern contest. Again, for the Outlander pattern. Don't leave the stage. Stay on stage. Next, best handwork for number 3, the Tarothian military uniform. All of that soutache is hand stitched. An award for most faithful to source goes to the insanely made from scratch modern Outlander, our virtual entry. And finally, best in pattern for McCall 7736 goes to Pierre Pettinger for Dragon Lord. So the next pattern is McCall's 7368. That is the asymmetrical clothing jacket, tunic, pants, and skirt ensemble. And an honorable mention for needlework to number 8, My Friends Are Crazy. We particularly appreciated that she had materials donated by one set of crazy friends and patterns suggested by another set of crazy friends. An award for execution of a quick change ensemble to number 15, Mother Gaia. If you haven't had a chance to see how that skirt and trousers combo moves up close, it is amazing and beautiful. And this quick change is just spice for the... And best in pattern for McCall 7368, Sandy Pettinger, The Reef. In particular, the finishing of all of the edges and all of the seams in this work is mind-boggling, and I encourage you to give it the costumer's handshake if Sandy can hold still long enough for you to do it. What? Oh, yes. I've been thrilled with how many marine entries we've had tonight, which you will understand after tomorrow's Science Fiction and Fantasy Masquerade when you see my entry, and I'm hoping we get to do a group photo sometime on Sunday. Next, the Fairy Godmother design, McCall's 7271. Oh my word, so many fairy godmothers. An honorable mention for the marine life details to number 10, the Fairy Godmother of the Sea. In particular, the recreation of the textures of sea life with fabric were mind-boggling. Is she here? She may be coming from the green room. Oh. While we wait, most beautiful goes to number 14, the black butterfly. Oh, here she comes. Here comes the Fairy Godmother of the Sea. So, to repeat the previous announcement, most beautiful to number 14, the black butterfly. There she is. We didn't get to see it worn until we saw her across the stage. In particular, if you get a chance to look at that one up close, look at the edges of the wings, which are ribbon through cut fabric details, and the pleating in the stomacher to create the abdomen of the butterfly. Then, best in pattern for McCall 7271 goes to number 16, Gown of Thrones. And then finally, Best in Show is also McCall's 7271 to entry number 11, Red Dragon. Is that right? I hope I have the number right. Was it 11 or was it?
11 special.
Yeah, no, that's the order to read it, but I don't have the entry number. But she heard me anyway. Which entry were you for the sake of? 5. Entry 5. It was the 11th award to read. And those are the awards for the CostumeCon 38 single pattern contest. Thank you, and thank you all for making such beautiful things. As the madman who invented this contest some 29 years ago, you have done me proud, and thank you so much for showing what we can do, all starting from the same patterns. And I will turn it back to you.
And that concludes our contest for this evening. For those of you so interested in partying with the costumers, the con suite is in the presidential suite on the 9th floor of the hotel. Get out of the elevators, take a right and an immediate right, and go down that hallway. You can't miss it. We look forward to seeing you there.